Today on the farm is the final preparations before the hurricane hits. I got a 60% chance of rain at lunchtime today. And if we can miss that rain, we got a good chance of getting soybean crop in. If we do get that lunchtime rain, then the soybeans will be a total loss. So really hoping to miss that rain. The rain will be here by nightfall tonight, and we're under extreme flood watch, flood warning all day Thursday on through Friday. So here we go. The first order of business today is to get the augers all secured. I gotta get this big auger down, take it over the hill behind the grain bin so that it's not an issue with the wind. Even when I take it down, it'll have a low profile. I'll lower it, but it still has a wind profile, so I will put it behind the bins over the hill so that as there's this little wind hitting that auger as possible, we don't want to flip over. There's some grain sorghum still in the in-feed tank. Gotta get it cleaned out because water's going to get in there, rain's going to get in there, and that grain sorghum will rot, and that'll be a bad situation. Then we'll take the yellow auger, the outfeed auger, we'll stick it between the bins, like my brother-in-law's auger is right there between the bins. When we're not using these outfeed augers, we roll them in between the bins so they can't fall over left or right. They just lean over on the bin. They can't move. These bigger augers, though, they're too big to do that. You gotta hide them from the wind. Step one in securing the auger, getting it lowered, is we gotta go up top and unchain it from the bin. I chain these augers to the bin so the wind won't blow them over. They're really top heavy. So we gotta go there and get it unchained so we can bring it down. Once I get this auger unchained, I will need to get back up here with a blower. See all this fine dust? This material shakes out of the grain sorghum as it's being augered in. This is lighter organic material, and it just kind of drifts out. If it rains on it, it will actually stick it to the roof of the bin and will cause the bin to rust. So I have to get up here with a blower and blow it all off. You can't have any of it stay trapped up here on the bin. It'll ruin the bin. A lot of times it will gather right next to those vents, just on the top side of them vents, and it'll rust the vents out. So we gotta get back up here with a backpack and blower and blow all this stuff off. you'll see my brother-in-law's got his pit already taken out and flipped over upside down. If you leave the pit in the hole there with corn in it, fills up with water. No, it doesn't make moonshine. It makes a very strong smell. There'll be lots of maggots and mealworms in it. Mine still has a little bit of corn in it right here where I was loading out some deer hunters last week. So got to pull the pit, get rid of that corn. We can put it in front of some of the deer stands, or we can put it in some tubs, put it in my dad's shop. He'll put it in a deer feeder. And we gotta go inside this bin and spread out a little bit of grain sorghum and check the moisture. I'm gonna go in here and do a little moisture check on the grain sorghum we put in yesterday. It was a little bit high moisture. Air has blown on it all night. And so now we're gonna check the moisture, see what's running, and unfortunately I'm gonna get in there and move that pile around a little bit, stir it up, just to help the air move through it. Testing. 15.2, that's good. You're supposed to average 3 tests. Rain is here. Can't blow moisture, can't blow moist air in there. It'll ruin the grain sorghum. So the fans are off till after the hurricane. You can see the big rain coming across the field. We've had no sunshine yet today, so they hadn't been able to begin the soybean harvest. Let's go up there and talk to Randy. Looks like he's by the combine. The first kind of outer bands of the storm are getting here. This is just lunchtime Wednesday. So there's not going to be a soybean harvest before the storm. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to the crop during the storm. Maybe it survives the storm. We don't know yet, obviously. A little bit of farm math. I talked to my insurance agent already. So I had a 75 bushel average last year on my beans, and last year was the first year I farmed independently on my own. So the way insurance is done on agriculture, on farm commodities, is they take a 3-year average. And so I only have 1 year. I have my 75 bushel soybean yield, and then they do 2 years on the county average, which is some really bad news. So the county average is really low. And then they take those 3 years, which are averaged together for a number, and they take 60% of that. So you get 60% of that average. And so the insurance people have decided that they're going to base everything off 34 bushels. That's a really low number. Like I said, my average is 75 bushels. So they're going to base my insurance payment, if we go that far, if we need be, off of 34 bushels. The bright side of that is, when we did the contract, the soybean price was high, and now the soybean price is low. So I've contracted this field at $9 a bushel, which is an epically terrible price. But it was a larger than ever planted soybean crop this year, so there's an oversupply, so price plummeted. When we did the contract for insurance, when the insurance was done on this field, the price was $12.50, and so they got me at 34 bushels at $12.50. My math comes out, if I make 50 bushels out here, this is my worst irrigated field. It's not as good as the field that had 75 bushels. There's a sandy area, like a big donut, that doesn't make anything. It's terrible. Then there's a real fertile area in the bottom, and there's a fertile hill, and there's a fertile hill, but there's a big significant size area that's sandy that's got a bad yield on it. So if I could average 50 bushels out here, which is what I figure it will do, at my current contract price, I come out at the same money, me harvesting it. So I got to pay the combine operator. I got to pay the trucking company. We got to get the beans to where they're contracted at. And so by the time I pay everybody off and get everything seen about, if this field averages 50 bushels an acre at the current market price, I come out to the same money as if the hurricane takes it and it gets the 34 bushels at $12 and change. So it's a wash. It's going to be what it's going to be either way. We're going to either harvest it after the hurricane, or the good Lord's going to come take it and it'll be gone. Either way, there's nothing I can do about it. We've done all we can do here. We've battened down all the hatches. We got all the barns full of tractors up there. Everything is hunkered down, tied down, hooked down. We're just wait this storm out. Everybody I talked to has been getting the generators ready and fired up. This time, when Hurricane Michael hit us at this increment before the storm, Hurricane Michael was still a tropical storm, and I was, it's not a big deal. And in the last few hours, it progressed strongly. And so Hurricane Michael, when it come over this, the eye passed within a few miles of here, and it was still a Cat 3 or borderline 4 when it come over the farm. This storm, they're projecting right now to be a Cat 1, and it's way to crap out there. So it could be a Cat 1 when it crosses here. So it could be a 1 or higher. I hope it ain't a Michael. Michael was bad, but it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. Ain't nothing we can do about it, pray about it, and hold on. See y'all on the other side.